Tonight on CTV News at 5, shutting down speed cameras across Ontario, when the legislation comes into effect and how the region is responding. Plus, the removal of a Cambridge encampment, why 15 people are being told to leave, and the concerns they have nowhere to go. And pulling together for a purpose. The tractor tug for tots at the University of Guelph returns for its 19th year. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Speed cameras in Waterloo Region are one step closer to coming offline. Yesterday, the province's bill to ban the cameras received royal assent, giving municipalities 10 days before the ban takes effect. CTV's Alexandra Hollick joins us live with how the region plans to address the ban and shut down our speed camera program locally. Alexandra.
Well, Leanne, there are really more questions than answers when it comes to the region's approach. Right now, it's safe to say that staff are reviewing legislation and will report back to council. Either way, the cameras must be offline as of next Friday. The bill was introduced last month and was fast-tracked through the legislature. It passed last Thursday after months of threats from Premier Doug Ford, who called the cameras cash grabs. While some municipalities are on board, some local officials have pushed back. There have also been questions about what will replace the cameras to mitigate speeding and who will cover those costs.
I just hope that whatever measures are implemented, they're supported by the province, they're provided for by the province, because we don't want to penalize people who are not speeding or not breaking the law.
For now, the 27 speed cameras in Waterloo Region will remain active until the ban takes effect. We'll have more details coming up at 6. Leanne?
Okay, Alexandra, thanks for the update on that. CTV's Alexandra Hollick. The plan to expand Waterloo Region's light rail system cleared a major hurdle today. We'll bring in CTV's Tony Grace live in studio for an update on this and some other stories. Tony.
Leanne, Regional Council voted 15-1 to go ahead and expand the LRT into Cambridge. The plan is to extend it from the last stop at Fairview Mall in Kitchener to Ainslie Street in Galt. Former Regional Councillor Tom Galloway says this is an important step forward.
I really want to re-emphasize that this is a planning tool. It's not as much about providing transportation for people, but it does that, of course, by its nature, but it's really a planning tool to incent intensification and to preserve farmland. And the first phase has shown great success in that regard.
The lone vote against the plan came from Cambridge Mayor Jan Liggett. CTV's Jeff Pickle will have more at 6. And also tonight, heavy machinery removing an encampment in Cambridge today. The city says it's being done by the landowners and CKPC Rail. City bylaw officers, regional police and rail police were also there. It's believed about 15 people were living there. Housing advocates say this puts them in a desperate situation.
Been calling everyone I can in the service system to see if there are any options, but it looks like there are no options, and so these people are going to be forced into making a choice between two bad options. One is finding another precarious location which they are likely to be evicted from immediately, or two is trying to set up shop on regional property and hope that the region protects them from the city, which there's been no guarantees that the region will do that.
Colton Weens will have more on this story. Details coming up at 6. Leanne, back over to you.
Tony, appreciate it. Thanks very much. And we'll turn to the forecast with Alex Pinto. Great to see some sunshine out there today.
Really nice. And we actually hit a high of 12 this afternoon. Expected 11, but being in that sunshine, it was pretty comfortable.
You know what? Not bad for early November. I was trying to think. This time last year, I think I had brought my winter parka out. So haven't done that quite yet.
No, not yet.
Pretty good.
We might in the near future.
Yeah.
Of course, get into that a little bit later, but hopefully you had a chance to get outside and enjoy, because potentially some more wet weather could be headed our way. And looking at our satellite and radar map for this afternoon, we are still seeing a bit of that cloud cover, still sticking around. Increasing cloud also expected as we get closer to the overnight hours at this point. So right now we are sitting here in Waterloo Region at 10 degrees. Again, as I mentioned, we hit a high of 12 at noon earlier today, but many others in the south and a little bit more west, still in that double digits and above seasonal for this time of year. But you might want to hang on to the umbrella, because again, some wet weather could be on the way. We're going to break it all down in your full forecast a little bit later. And as we take a live look along the Kitchener-Waterloo Expressway from the Wellington Street overpass, we're noticing quite a bit of congestion due to some construction, lane closures there, as we also get ready to watch another beautiful sunset.
Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, we'll take a break, tell you what you need to know, enjoy some great food, and unleash your creative side at Paint Night at Kelsey's Kitchener Frosty and Friend event. An artist will guide you through start to finish. All the equipment is included as well. No experience required. It's taking place tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Tickets are $35.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news.
Royal City Nursery to the studio here at CTV Kitchener with, of course, Tanya Olson. Always great to see you.
It's lovely to see you too. It's gorgeous out there.
It is so nice today, and hard to believe though that holiday party planning is going to be right around the corner. And with that, of course, there's some things we should be doing now to kind of get maybe your tablescape ready.
Yes, and we are actually talking about forcing bulbs. So we're talking about a way you can get color in the house at party time. And really, you need to figure out what's your party date, and then we're going to work backwards from that.
Yeah, so this is stuff we should really be keeping in mind now, because we've got quite a few bulbs here today.
You got it. So today we're going to talk about amaryllis. We're going to talk a little bit about paper whites. I've got some exciting news about a paper white.
Okay.
And prepared hyacinths.
Perfect.
So this, for me, is what I call our forcing bulbs.
Okay.
So this is indoor stuff. These do not plant outside. I know paper white is it's a narcissus, but this is the annual version of the hardy cousin. So this one needs to be indoors. Now, when we talked about bulbs a few weeks ago, we talked about the fact that the bulbs are made like an onion, right? It's got different layers on the inside when we cut it open. So that for amaryllis and for forcing is perfect. So if we take a peek at this, this is one of the waxed amaryllis, and we have left this in a warm spot so we can actually see him start. He's just
Look at
peeking.
that. Yes.
He's getting there. So this is the early party version.
Okay. Early party.
Yes. So amaryllis, you can get waxed like this, and a waxed one, honestly, you can just leave it on the counter.
Okay.
With heat, it'll start to sprout, and normally you get flowers within about 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. So pretty quick.
Yeah, nice and speedy. You can also do more traditional amaryllis. So whether it's something like this, and that's the 3 boxes I've got at the end, the pink ones and the white ones, just for some beautiful, beautiful differences. And I brought in one of our favorites. This is one called Red Lion, but I brought this in because it's a jumbo bulb.
I was going to say, it looks like a big onion.
It is. It's a giant onion. So these you can plant. So they plant in a beautiful pot in soil. When you plant them, though, you want to make sure that amaryllis are only potted about halfway up. Okay. So you want to see the crest. When we look at the differences between size, the big boys, these guys are going to shoot 2 or 3 different flower spikes with 2 or 3 different flowers on them each. And then the smaller ones are going to do 1 to 2 spikes with 1 to 2 flowers.
Okay.
Give them time, and these will catch up to these. They're just, this one's more mature.
So even for the red line, for example, we can see how many.
Yeah, and you can get some more. Some smaller ones, some more immature ones that will do and grow with you just fine.
Okay.
Too as well. So amaryllis to me are the king and the queen for holiday.
Right.
Gorgeous.
Nice color.
If we want some other options, paper whites are the white narcissus. Now this is the annual version, so you do not plant these outside. A lot of people go, oh my gosh, I don't like the smell of paper whites, and that's okay, because if you do this one, this is a variety called In Ball. This is the one that's no fragrance.
Okay, there we go, fragrance free.
Very easy, and again, these are forcing bulbs, so you can either plant them in soil, or I actually brought some glasses and some vases, and you can see there's a dimple in here. Ooh, there we go. We're testing the cameraman today. You can see there's a dimple in there, and that's actually what the bulb itself sits on. But one of the things we got to watch when we load these in, we don't want our bulb, We don't want it to do that. Right now I
Right.
can see the bulb is actually sitting in water. So we want our water line to actually be about 1/8 of an inch below the bulb itself. We want that to pull the roots down, because if we leave it like this, we're going to rot the crowns.
What about in terms of sunlight too?
Nothing.
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 Okay,
There
another
is-
low maintenance trick.
Yeah, and again, those onions, right? Remember the bulbs are onions, and there's enough energy in here to actually produce a flower. So we're not worried about sunlight. They're going to flower. Amaryllis, the paper whites, and even the hyacinths are going to flower. They're going to produce leaves, and the leaves are going to collect the energy for next year's flower.
Okay. All right. So lots of options for sure. Tough question though. I've got to ask you, which is your favorite?
I still love an amaryllis, and honestly, my favorite is the one down at the end. I think that's Provence. I love it. It's a little bit different, a little bit funky.
Okay. So something for everyone in
Yes.
terms of what you're looking for. But yes, we want to start thinking about your holiday parties, those tablescapes. Maybe now if you want to kind of brighten it up ahead
You
of the
got it.
holiday
And count
season.
backwards.
And count backwards. All right. Great tips as always, Tanya. Always great to see you.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. We've got your local news and, of course, your full weather coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Crisp, cool conditions out there today, but not bad for the start of November, as we were saying. Nice to see all that sunshine as well earlier today.
Yeah, the sun definitely made it feel a little bit warmer out there this afternoon. When we say, oh yeah, we hit a high of 12. In the summer, that'd be pretty chilly, but right now, like that sounds pretty good as we get more acclimatized to the changing conditions.
Yeah, I'm still not used to the sun setting so early yet either.
No.
It's not fun.
No, it's been the one benefit I have to say, as you know, an early riser, it's nice to see that sun first thing in the morning, and hopefully maybe if you were as well, you saw that beautiful, beautiful sunrise, and basically a show that Mother Nature put on this morning, which is quite beautiful. And we've got some photos to show you during the 6 o'clock program. But yes, like you said, that sun is setting earlier and earlier, and it is getting quite dark as we take a live look from Frederick Street in Kitchener. Out there, we're noticing that increasing cloud as we get closer to the evening into the overnight hours. That is expected to stick with us until we get into your Wednesday morning, and that's potentially when we can start to see a little bit more wet weather. So hopefully you had a chance to get outside and enjoy that sunshine we saw today, because tomorrow we might want to keep the umbrellas handy and nearby just in case. So getting into the rest of the evening, this is when again we could see a bit more cloud cover start to develop, especially around 11 o'clock tonight or so. Getting into the overnight hours, yes, and early tomorrow morning, this is when we could start to see a little bit of wet weather making its way towards us and continuing east. So depending on where you are, it potentially could be quite heavy at times too, on and off. And even later in the afternoon, there is a risk of a thunderstorm depending on where you are, which we'll get into in just a moment. But some showers potentially on and off expected to stick with us for your Wednesday, and even getting into the overnight into your Thursday. We potentially could see some mixing conditions and possibly some flurries later in the week, or some mixing, so some rain mixed with a little bit of flurry activity there. We're noticing though, temperature-wise, we are dropping down right now. It is 9 here in Kitchener, Waterloo. We did hit a daytime high of 12 degrees. Our expected daytime high was 11, so we were up by 1, and we hit that around 12 o'clock this afternoon. Many others though still in double digits, so Toronto, Hamilton, even London, between 11 and 10 degrees or so, which is still above seasonal for this time of year. So overnight, 5 degrees is our expected low. Again, that increase in clouds sticking with us. Winds today around 30 kilometers an hour or so. Wind gusts, depending on where you're joining us from, upwards of about 50 in some areas too. So it was quite windy, especially a little bit further north. Winds though getting into the overnight expected to be light. And then for tomorrow, 11 degrees is our expected daytime high. Cloudy, and again 60% chance of showers is what we're seeing. And it's the afternoon, that's potentially when we could see that thunderstorm risk join us. So in terms of daytime highs and lows, we are definitely above seasonal for today. But yes, that sunrise now 7:01 in the morning, and that sun is setting 5:10 p.m. So getting closer and closer to 5 o'clock on the dot. So over the next few days, once we get past a little bit more wet weather expected for tomorrow, we could see a little bit more sun make an appearance for your Thursday. But at this point, we are seeing about a 30% chance for some wet weather. But then overnight, expected to drop down to -1. And again, that's potentially when we could see a little bit of that mixing and the chance to see some possible flurry activity.
We'll find out what is trending today. England soccer star David Beckham was bestowed with a new honor today, knighthood.
Today, to be honoured by, the most important institutions in the world and one of the most respected institutions in the world. Being an East End boy, it's a very proud day.
Beckham was knighted by King Charles at a ceremony in Windsor Castle, recognizing the former England captain and Manchester United player for his services to sport and charity. He was awarded the Order of the British Empire in 2003, and rumors about his knighthood have swirled over a decade. Beckham played a key role in bringing the 2012 Olympics to London. Beckham's wife, Victoria, of course, once known as Posh Spice, also got a new title, Lady Beckham.
I'm glad that she was also included in this. I was going to
ask as well.
Well, Prince Harry will be in Canada this Wednesday and Thursday for a series of events ahead of Remembrance Day. The Duke of Sussex office confirming he'll be in Toronto at the invitation of the True Patriot Love Foundation, which supports members of the military, veterans, and their families.
And the world's largest indoor agricultural and equestrian showcase will kick off in Toronto this week.
We explore, obviously, Canadian agriculture, education, food, and equine sport. So this year it kicks off on Friday with equine sport. In the evening, we have a really big horse show coming. The Indoor Eventing Challenge is very, very exciting. We have the Canadian Show Jumping Championships, and then obviously so many farm animals. Just like Rosie, you can get up close and meet in person.
The Royal Agricultural Winter Fair is in its 103rd year. The annual showcase of the best in Canadian food, livestock, and horsemanship is expected to attract around 300,000 visitors to the Enercare Centre. The fair runs through November 16th, and tickets can be purchased online. I have never been. Have you?
I was going to say, I used to go as a kid.
You did?
Every year.
Nice.
And it's a little bit nostalgic. It's been quite some time, but you get to see all the animals and to check out some vendors. It's a good time.
Okay, I got to add it to my list.
Yes.
All right, still ahead on CTV News at 5, calling for change, the petition in the city of Cambridge, and why some are pushing for backyard chickens to be allowed.
And here's what you need to know. Take in some OHL action as the Guelph Storm take on the London Knights tomorrow night. Puck drop is 6:30 at the Sleeman Centre. Stay with us.
Welcome back as we take a look at tonight's digital dive. A group from Guelph have become millionaires. The 6 co-workers won big with Ontario 49. The group claiming the top prize of $2 million in a late August lottery draw. You can find out more about their plans for their winnings by scanning the QR code, downloading the CTV News app, or going to ctvnewskitchener.ca. And here's the final 5 stories we are keeping an eye on today. A shortage of prescription painkillers caused by manufacturing disruption is expected to continue into the new year. Originally, the shortage of drugs containing acetaminophen with oxycodone, including Percocet, was supposed to last until the fall. However, the Canadian Pharmacists Association says medications with codeine like Tylenol 3 are back in stock, but supply remains limited for Tylenol 2 and 4. The association says other pain medications are being prescribed as alternatives. A new report from the Salvation Army suggests most Canadians think U.S. tariffs are directly affecting their pocketbooks.
The report shows a sharp rise in job insecurity and declining optimism about the future. Of course, as we know, so many Canadians are feeling that squeeze. The rising costs of food, groceries, housing, all of those things are really having an impact on people's physical and mental well-being. And so many who have in the past perhaps donated to the Salvation Army or are finding that they need to turn to the Salvation Army for support at this time of the year.
The online survey from the Angus Reid Institute found 86% of respondents agree that tariffs are driving up the cost of everyday goods. Meanwhile, 79% of people think U.S. trade policies are having the biggest impact on low-income households. The Salvation Army's annual Canadian Poverty and Socioeconomic Analysis also found the percentage of Canadians who feel optimistic about their finances dropped to 46% this year from 51% last year. A petition is calling for change in the city of Cambridge to allow for backyard chickens. The topic has been debated for years and is back in the spotlight once again. Other municipalities like Waterloo and Kitchener do allow them, though there is a limit on how many you can have on your property. Vlad Angel is a Cambridge resident who has several in his backyard. Some of their names are Jennifer Lopez and Lindsay Lohan. He says he was given a note from his doctor that allows him to keep them and says they are known to help with anxiety and depression and believes the city should rethink its rules.
They make me happy. They make my kids extremely happy. I mean, I have a 10-month-old daughter who's too young to really understand. But if she's sitting down, they'll come to her and sometimes they'll sit in her lap. They're extremely friendly. The dog loves them. So they've just, they live in perfect harmony with really everybody around us.
My daughter do.
At 6, CTV's Heather Centerin will meet another Cambridge man who says bylaw actually gave him a notice to get rid of his chickens by next week. If skies permit, the moon will shine extra bright overnight as it gets close to Earth, as it will all year. This evening's supermoon will come within 357,000 kilometers of Earth. Since the moon's orbit isn't a perfect circle, it gets nearer and farther as it swings around our planet. Supermoons happen a few times a year. Tonight's will be the second, with another expected in December. And finally for us, a popular student-driven community fundraiser returned to the University of Guelph today for its 19th year. Tractor Tug for Tots sees participants pull tractors for over 240 feet. This year, the funds raised are going to support the autism program at St. Joseph's Health Center in Guelph. A record 25 teams took part today.
This is my 3rd year here at the university and 3rd year participating in this event. Overall, it's a great way to donate to the great charities they have each year and get out and have some fun with our friends and peers here at the University of Guelph.
This year's fundraising goal was $15,000. CTV's Ashley Bacon will hear more from participants and organizers tonight at 6. Hopefully they're not too tired after all that hard work out there today. All right, that's it for us. We'll be back at the top of the hour with your next local news. For now, over to CTV National. Have a great night, everyone.